Hey guys, it's Mustafa, and in this video, I'm going to be going over basically the step-by-step process of how we scale e-commerce brands, right? This is the main thing. There might be small moving parts, right? But when it comes to the main thing that we do, this is the step-by-step we technically follow. Now, this doesn't have to be necessarily in order. It is in order, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in this order, right? But I'm going to go through it, and yeah, let's get started. So first, we're going to start with the main thing, right? So the main thing, and the first thing we do, right, is competitor research, and that covers a whole lot of things, right, which I'm not going to go into in this video, as it will be a whole video in itself, right? We do review mining. I actually made a video on this. If you want to go check it out, I'll put it right up here somewhere. And then we do unique selling point research, right? So what we usually come up with about 3, right? What unique selling points do we have, right? And then with all this information, we make an amazing offer, and we have great, marketing messaging, etc. Right? Now, this is a very important step. A lot of e-commerce brands, they just run ads, right? Or they build their website, or they do write copy, or they make content before they actually do any competitor research or do any of these that I've just mentioned, right? There's a lot more that is going to this, but these are the main things, right? They want to be doing. Now, after this, something that, again, e-commerce brands just don't do, or even agencies don't do, right? And that is CRO, website CRO. So it's basically, if you check your store right now, it will say conversion rate, right? It'll have in your analytics, it will have a conversion rate. And if it's anything around 1%, some brands even have less, then this is key, right? Especially if you have over 50,000 visitors per month, you want to be focused on website CRO, as then you can actually start A/B testing, which is one of the steps, as you can see. So what you want to do is, firstly, you want to do some competitor research. So it's actually going ahead and taking a look at competitor websites, seeing what they're doing, stuff like that, right? And then what you want to do is you want to do some research on your own website, right? So your own brand, that's why it says that. So what we do is we use stuff like Hotjar or Microsoft Clarity or other research tools, or even Google Analytics, right? To take a look at our website. So Google Analytics, we take a look at the funnel, right? Where people are dropping off, and we can see the actual numbers. And things like Hotjar and Microsoft Clarity, we can actually see screen recordings, right, scroll depth, and a bunch of things, right? I'd really recommend something like Hotjar or Microsoft Clarity. Now, with Hotjar, you can also do pop-up surveys. So right before people exit, you can make sure a pop-up comes up and ask them what's getting in the way of them buying, and then they can give feedback. And then based off that feedback, you can actually do tests as well, which is what I'm going to get into here, which is A/B testing, right? So the reason we do all this research before is so we can actually come up with test ideas. So we come up with a hypothesis, we come up with a test based off that hypothesis, and then we test it in order to improve our website's conversion rate. Now, again, I actually have an entire video on this as well, and I do have a video on creating offers as well. I'm going to put one or the other, or both, right up there, so you can watch those as well. Make sure to watch this video, just so you know everything that you need to be doing, and you can come back and watch those as well. Now we move on to content, right? So based off all our research from the main thing, etc., we want to get onto making content. So first, we implement our influencer marketing strategy. Now, I haven't got a video on this, but I'll explain it very briefly, right? But the basics of this is we get a bunch of influencers' contact information, so their emails usually, and then we set up an email campaign on something like Instantly, and then we email them something along the lines of, we love your content, we want to give you a free product, let us know where to send it to. We also do have an affiliate program if you want to hop on, and then you can start making money from it as well. So it ends up being a mutually beneficial thing. If they want to make money by promoting your stuff, making videos for it, they can. And you don't want to be paying the upfront fees, as then they get lazy and they've already been paid. So what's the point of making good content? And with the content that they make, we can then use it for our website, for ads, and plus you have your videos of your products scattered all across social media, so you get exposure from that as well. So it's a win-win-win, right? And your cost is just going to be paying, obviously, to send out the product, and also paying their commission. Now, something that I haven't really seen, right? I say I haven't really seen it, I've never really seen it, but we have this strategy where we basically get content, right? And we get 5-star reviews on our products. Now, I wouldn't usually go into something like this, right? Because it is, I guess, a secret strategy, right? But I'm gonna go into it in this video for you guys. So what it is we have a page, right? Where we give people refunds, right? Now, let me explain. Now, what happens is once someone buys from us, right? Let's say a week or two later, right after the product's been delivered and they've used it, we send them an email saying, look, if you give us a review, we'll give you a partial refund. And based on if it's a image review or video review, the refund will be less or more. If it's an image, it will be less. If it's a video, it will be more, right? And this way, they leave us a review. So they'll leave us, let's say, a 5-star review, and they'll leave us either an image or video, which we can then take and use for marketing. We can use it for obviously ads, or we can use it on our website as well, right? And plus you get 5-star reviews. Now, when we actually work with e-commerce brand, what we also do is we send out email campaign to all their previous buyers, right? In case, if they want to actually, leave a review and get a partial refund, and that gives us like a surge of content just instantly, basically. So it's a really good strategy, which I don't usually share, but hey, I shared it in this video with you guys. We also have a scalable static image strategy. Now, images don't necessarily work for every brand, and this is something that as a brand, we test with different brands, and as a brand you should be testing as well whether images or videos work better for you. But with brands that images actually work for, we have just templates, a bunch of templates that's been proven to work, right? And here it actually is, right? So a bunch of just proven, it's an ad pack, right? So we actually use this for clients, and it's just a bunch of proven static images that we just change a few things, change the product in the image, change the copy, change the unique selling points, wherever it is, right? And we run it as ad. So, and this is quite scalable as it's so easy to make, right? We just take something that's winning already, just change out the product image, maybe a bit of text, and that's it, bang. We just have a lot of ads that we can run and test. Because something that people don't realize is when it comes to ads, right? You want to be testing a bunch of creatives. That's literally the difference between ads that do well, right? Or brands that do well with ads and brands that don't do well with ads, right? Is that the brands that don't do well, they just don't test enough. So the best piece of advice I can give you is, right? And that's the reason we actually have all of these strategies here, right? The reason we have, when it comes to ads, right? Or content that we, as you can see, we use as ads, right? The reason we have all these strategies is because we need enough content to be able to scale. And a lot of brands think, maybe it's just the ad strategy, right? Like a certain way to set up the campaign is going to lead to them getting amazing results. But the algorithm does that for you anyway. The algorithm's targeting, it does that for you anyway, right? You don't need to do any of that. You just need to make good content. And good content is obviously subjective, right? And it's up to your customers to pick what's actually good. So you just want to be testing a lot, right? I'd recommend 40 to 50 pieces of content a month, right? If you can do more, perfect, and I'd recommend doing more, but I'm saying at least 40 to 50 per month. I forgot to actually mention this, but if you do the website CRO, it leads to higher conversion rates and higher average order value, right? And what conversion rate is, let me just explain briefly. It's basically if you had 100 visitors come to your store, if you have a 1% conversion rate, as I mentioned, right, out of 100 people, only one person would buy. Now, with the brands that we work with, we aim for at least, it depends on the brand. Some brands will have higher conversion rates, some brands will have less, but we usually aim for about 3 to 4%, as that means every 100 visitors, you'll get 3 to 4 people buying. And what AOV is average order value, and that's how much on average people spend, right? So each purchase, how much they spend. So CRO actually works to increase the average order value as well. So with these two things up, right, with the conversion rate being higher and the average order value being higher, brands tend to make more profit. I say tend to, but you're basically guaranteed to make more profit as you have more people buying, right, with the same amount of traffic. So you're spending the same amount on ads or whatever you do, right, emails, whatever, right, and they're spending more each. Each of them are spending more. So your cost to acquire that customer is just going to be minuscule compared to how much you're making from them. So yeah, that's why website CRO is extremely important, but it's a new thing that people are talking about and brands aren't doing it enough, in my opinion, right? And when it comes to the content, obviously doing these strategies that I mentioned, and there's more, but these are, I want to keep this short, right? I didn't want to add everything in here as it would be too long, but these are the main things, and I just want to keep it brief, as I mentioned. So if you do all of these, it leads to, you having a ton of content to post, put on your website, or you can run it as ads, which is the next thing, right? Paid ads, right? So what we do is, as I said, with testing, we find winning ads, and with this, we're actually able to collect data. So the next batch of content that we test will be based off the winners from the last batch that we tested, if that makes sense. And that's how you want to be going about these things, which is why you want to be able to actually read the data and understand the data, right? And then after we find winning ads, we scale normally. Now, what I mean by this is because I have this here, as it says, scale with bid caps, but I'm just, talk about what scaling normally is, right? And what that is we'll have 2 ad sets. One ad set will be our winning ads. So each time we test, we'll put it in, the winners will put it into the winning ad set, and we'll usually have a higher budget, probably around 80% of our budget would be in that, right? And then 20% budget would be in the other ad set where we actually test our content, right? So we'll be testing in here, and the winners, we just move it over to the other ad set, and we constantly test within this other ad set, which has a lower budget. Now, after a while, especially when you increase your budget, right? Because whilst you're scaling and everything's going well, you're going to want to scale, right? But the issue is it doesn't scale exponentially. So the more you scale your ad spend, right, the more colder of an audience it's going to show to, and there's just other technical things that happen that lead to you getting worse results as you scale. So what we do is we then start to scale with bid caps. So obviously after a while, you actually have a number there, which is your cost per acquisition, right? Or whatever your target cost per acquisition is. Let's say it's 25 to get a customer, right? What we do is we use bid caps, and what that means is we set an amount that we're not willing to pay over to get a purchase, basically. So Facebook, or this actually works in Google, TikTok, whatever ad platform you're using, if you set a bid cap, it'll make sure not to spend if it doesn't think it'll get a purchase, right? Because what you'll have is, if you scale, even if the ad set knows it won't get a purchase, it will still spend. Whereas if you have bid caps, it will only spend if it thinks it can get a purchase. Now, when it comes to scaling, right, you might want to just have another campaign that's on bid caps, right? Instead of just increasing your main budget, you can have another campaign which has bid caps, and then it'll only start spending, or it'll only spend, right, if it knows it'll get a purchase, or if it thinks it'll get a purchase. And with this method, trust me, the algorithm is working harder for you, right, to get you sales, and you'll just be using your money a lot more effectively. And as I said, you can set your target cost per acquisition. So in our experience, it just gets us a lot better results. So yeah, it's something I suggest looking into, or if you want to get in contact with us, we can help you out. And what this will lead to is you'll bring in good quality traffic, right, that will actually convert. So we'll get you sales, right? Now, next, we move over to email flows. And as you can see, there's only one thing here, and it's quite straightforward, but we build out, this is at least. Now, I don't want you to just build 9 email flows, right, the ones that I mentioned, and just go ahead and be like, that's it. There's a lot more email flows that you can build out, which we do, right? But the main ones that we need to have with each client that we have, these are the must, right? I'm gonna get into them right now. So here they are, right? These are the 9 that we make sure to have. So as you can see here, pre-purchase flows. So we have 5 pre-purchase flows, and that is the welcome series, which is basically when someone puts their email in, they'll get a welcome email. Secondly, we have the site abandonment, and that's just if they're going to a website and they just leave, right? They'll get an email saying, come back, basically. The third one is browse abandonment. So this is if they go into a product, they'll view in, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna go. And then they'll get email a couple hours later, or whenever you set it to, remind them to come back and check out what they're buying, right? Now, you might be asking, why would you want to do this if you don't know already? And it's literally because sometimes you probably experience as well. You're checking a product out, and something happens and you just forget to go back to it. So this just reminds those people to come back and buy. And trust me, I've seen from experience, it can get you so much more, like it can make you so much more sales, right? So if you're not doing these, at least these 9, you're just missing out on a ton of money and a ton of sales that you otherwise would have gotten for no extra cost, really. This doesn't really cost you to do. Emails are close to $0 to send out emails. Sometimes it's Klaviyo is like 100 something a month, depending on how many customers you have. Sometimes it goes up to 500, but when it comes to how much you can send out, it basically costs 0. So yeah, highly recommend doing these. Fourth one is cart abandonment, quite self-explanatory, and the fifth one is checkout abandonment. So these are all pre-purchase, and you want to make sure to have these plus more, right? But make sure to have these 5 at least. And then we have 4 post-purchase flows. So we have the customer thank you, right? Customer win back, and then we have sunset engaged. So these are just people that are quite engaged with the emails, right? They click on it, etc. like that. So you want to be setting these set these segments, or you want to create these segments so they actually send out these email flows to the correct segments, right? I'll probably make a video on how to do that properly, but for now, you probably find a YouTube video, and it's quite easy to set up segments. So yeah, and the VIP flow is it's going to be sent out to your best customers, right? So people that maybe have bought 3 times from you, right? Stuff like that, right? So if the person buys the 3rd time, somewhere down the line, they'll get this VIP flow. And in this VIP flow, I mean, you can do quite a lot, right? You can maybe give them a good discount, etc. Because these are going to be your loyal customers, right? So yeah, these are the 9 that we make sure to have with every e-commerce brand. So yeah, so that's really it for the emails. And if you're wondering what that's for, is it you nurture your audience. So especially with the pre-purchase ones, right? You nurture your audience, and you obviously get people to buy, right? And people to buy post-purchase as well, right? Really good. So if you don't have email flows, or if you don't send out regular campaigns as well, which is something that I should have had here, you should set up regular campaigns to send out as well. Lastly, right, now this is last, but you could have had this anywhere here, to be honest, right? But landing pages. And if you're wondering what a landing page is, and the reason I've actually mentioned it here is, and I put listicles here, as you can see. So a listicle is quite literally a blog for your product, right? And it's so, I'll explain why this is very useful, especially when it comes to scaling. Now, when you're not at scale and, you're making, let's say, 6 figures a month, something like that, and you're not massive, right? So you're just at the middle. Not having landing pages and stuff might work, like that's fine. But what happens is, as you scale, as I said, as you get to, shown to colder and colder audiences, you're gonna have to try some different strategies when it comes to, getting sales. And one of the things that we do, and a lot of brands do that are successful, is listicles or landing pages, right? And what this is as I said, it's a blog where it makes people aware about your product, right? So if people are cold, they don't know about your product, they don't know why they need it. So this blog is your chance to actually get across to them what it is and why they need it. And then you can have like a button there as well in order to get them to buy it. And these work really well. As I said, when you scale, you're gonna have colder and colder audiences that don't know what your product is. And if they do know what it is, they don't know why they need it, and they think, I don't need it. So this is your chance, as I said, to actually get across to them why they need to buy your product. So as you can see, here's the hoodie, right? One of the biggest brands that just came out of nowhere, really, right? And here's their listicle, right? So discover why 3 million people are going crazy over this hoodie. So they'll probably have an ad that directs them straight to this page, right? And you might be thinking, isn't that just more friction? Well, usually it might be, but if you have it's friction to actually just take people to a product page. And these people, they're super cold. They don't know what your product is and they don't know why they need it. That's a lot more friction than taking those people here where they can actually learn about your product, right? And get, maybe understand, oh, I do need this, right? And you can obviously set this up in your ads, right? Where you can exclude people that are warm and you can only show this ad, oh, look at that. You can only show this ad to people that are cold. So they've never heard about your brand, nothing like that. And you can set it up in your ads. As you don't really want to be taking people that are already aware about your product, right? So this page, only cold people. As you can see, if you scroll down, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons, and then they're like, look, some unique selling point stuff, whatever. And there you go, there's their call to action button they can have on a listicle, and it takes you to their products. So that's what a listicle is. And this again, it allows you to nurture your cold audience, right? And overall, it just makes your ads and maybe even your emails, right, more effective, because you can direct people here from your email campaigns as well, or maybe flows, whatever, right? Or from your content, it doesn't matter, but it just makes a lot of other stuff more effective, as you're gonna have, as I said, especially at scale, you're gonna have a lot of cold audience that don't know about your products, and don't know why they need it. So listicles are a great way to tackle that. Now, if you do all these things, you don't really need to get into the other stuff, right? If you just do these, 6 things, right? This will allow you to make more revenue, so make more money with a higher profit margin, right? As I said, with the higher conversion rates and stuff, right? And you can spend less on ads and marketing, right? And you make more money. So yeah, you don't need to worry about anything else. Now I know there's like, what do you call it? A golden object, is that what it is? Syndrome, where people are like, oh wow, there's this AI thing, right? AI whatever that I need to do, and that's what's going to save my business, so that's what's going to take me to the next level. When in reality, it's just doing the basics really well. I'm sure you haven't maybe heard about some of these, right? But if you just do these 6 things and do it really well, right, you're gonna have a successful e-commerce store, I guarantee you, man. But yeah, that's it for this video, right? That's everything. I went through all, right? If you have any questions about anything here, or if you have any, video ideas, or maybe you want me to go into, further depth into one of these things right here, right, in a video, make sure to comment it down below. But yeah, that's it for this video, as I said. If you liked it, there is a button for that, right? And I will be making content like this quite frequently, to be honest. I'm actually planning on upping my frequency that I post, because I feel like this helps a lot of e-commerce brands. I have got personal messages saying it has, so I'll probably up the frequency on these. So make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. But yeah, that's it, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Till next time.